So welcome everybody to this wonderful present moment, this gathering. So somehow this is coming, just aware in this time we have together, this hour, who knows what can happen. You've done the work for years. If it was your first time ever sitting in the work, just to see what can be possible if we just open up to a minute of wondering if what we're thinking, our interpretations, our perspective is actually true. It can be pretty exciting. So a short quote from Katie from Loving What Is. So she says this: beginners sometimes ask me what will happen if they do the work on a regular basis. They are afraid that without a story, they won't be motivated to act and won't know what to do. The experience of those who do the work is that the opposite is true. Inquiry naturally gives rise to action that is clear, kind, and fearless. When you begin to meet your thinking with understanding, your body follows. It begins to move by itself, so you don't have to do anything. The work is about noticing our thoughts, not about changing them. When you work with the thinking, the doing naturally follows. All right, friends. So what have you been aware of and what have you been noticing? So just at the very beginning here, we're like welcoming in, saying hello to what is already seeming to be there. Trouble. So funny that we start with this trouble. But just to see, oh, if I experienced that differently, then I'd be happy. That dynamic that goes on in that relationship or that condition that's running. And it's all right that the mind is saying that, like how great that it is. If that was different, then I'd be happy. Just notice what's there today for this moment. And it's okay if there's a whole pile. See what comes up to the top. If that dynamic, if that situation was different, it can be in the past, it can be in the imagined future. The way that seems to run was different. Oh, then I'd be happy. So see what it is, and it's okay to share. So on these sessions, you can share in the chat, and you can raise your hand, or you can bring yourself off mute and just jump in. And if you share a situation or an incident, doesn't mean, oh no, I don't want to share because I might have to do the work. You get to volunteer. You'll get to know if it's you or not. So it's okay to just listen. Yeah, Sarah.
Hi, Grace. Yeah, I'm noticing that I'm coming off of a COVID, not a disastrous COVID, but kind of like I'm just noticing how I'm just not happy with not being quite back to normal, and how I should be normal now. I should be above that, and it comes out in my. I feel like I'm hungry all the time.
Mm.
And so it's an interesting connection that, and I, instead of ignoring the hunger, I'm just noticing I don't like it that I feel hungry. Should I feel hungry? Am I hungry? All that comes up. and then
Mm.
I find food that works. So I'm doing, it's interesting. I think it's the fact that the sensation is not what I normally feel, and I don't like it. It's like
Mm.
feeling of hunger,
Ah,
feeling of kind of empty.
yeah,
Empty. I'm running on empty. That's kind of what it feels like. And
yeah.
it's annoying me right now. It's just annoying me that that's happening. And I would like to have this over with. Yeah. Yep.
Love it. Thank
Yep.
you.
Yep.
How quickly it moves from there's the experience. I
Mhm.
mean, just noticing it, taking in a sensation.
Mhm.
It's annoying. It should be over. Just that the mind's got something to say about it, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that's such a good one, everybody. You find that one of like some condition or just the experiences that happen in the body. So I love that Whitney's sharing. If they just liked me and approved of me and liked the work I did with them, I'd be happy. So good. Yeah. And you can see easily on that, like I've got this alternate version. Like if I just had it that way, I'd be happy. This is the way it is. Don't like it. Easy. You see the situation. I see the things that I don't like that are running that mean for me. They don't like me. They don't approve of me. They're not satisfied. And paying bills this morning. The mind says there is not enough. It tells me I should have been more careful in my spending. So good. Money, such a huge one. Our supply, not having enough. Debbie, if he wasn't so anxious, I would be happy. I love that one too. I love them all, but just to see they're so common. I mean, I can relate to them so easily. Just noticing in the mind. That person changed their manner or their mood, I'd be happy. Vanessa, if I was good enough, my ex-boyfriend wouldn't have cheated on me. Ooh, good one. Yeah, that painful thing that happened. If I was just good enough, it wouldn't have. Love how it finds what to blame and just if I could just get this fixed about me. Okay. So thank you all for sharing me, just noticing. So just let it be percolating in there. Everything come forward and see if it's you. See if you want to do the work on whatever situation you've got coming. You never know, whatever situation is there could affect other situations in ways you don't even know. So it's okay to take this one little sliver, this little slice of something that doesn't feel right. And when we do this here, if somebody volunteers, awesome, Vanessa, I see your hand raised. And everybody will find it and follow along, and you can follow along and share your answers in the chat. Okay, Vanessa.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Hi, Grace.
Hello, hello. Okay. Well, tell us the situation.
So I've been doing many worksheets on this, and I just don't know. I'm not really able to move it very well. But the situation is my ex-boyfriend and I had been on and off for the past 6 months, and due to I found out he'd been cheating, and then we came together again last weekend, and I found out that his cheating also involved exploitation of me, of other women, on the internet, hidden cameras. It was really bad, and but the root of it is still just not feeling good enough. And I know logically, like even when I do the work, it's like, okay, I understand, how that's not true, but for some reason it doesn't seem to lift the charge. So I don't know if I'm not going in deep enough to really access the,
Hmm.
emotion. But that's kind of the backstory.
Well, let's just go. And even if you've done that exact thought before, it's okay. And notice it's an I statement, which is all right. Sometimes there's a little, but everyone can do it. Sometimes there's a little, because there's not much space between our thinking about ourselves and who we are, but maybe there's also sometimes a lot of space.
Yeah.
So who knows? But just see, there's an incident out there in the world, apparently. This thing goes on, betrayal, worse than I expected, cheating, being lied to or withheld from. It's not working over there. Everybody can find this in even the tiniest way, like even moments of interaction. I can find things like this with just in a conversation with a person where there isn't something really dramatic behind it, but I feel like the way they're responding might have a clutch in it. Wow, that notion, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough because of what is happening here. I'm not good enough because of those bills that have piled up. I'm not good enough because my health isn't right. Okay, so Vanessa, you bring a good one. Probably pretty common.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not good enough. So here's that situation that happened. Okay, that means you're not good enough. Is it true?
No.
Okay. Okay. And what happens when you think it? So something, you said it was persistent, kind of in there. What happens when you think, oh, it's because I'm not good enough? Where does your mind travel? See the other meaning or everything about it. This difficult incident happens. It means I'm not good enough. How do you react?
I get extremely sad um, and begin picking and um, just visualize all the I torment myself with possibilities of images of him with other women and having the most passion and just everything that I want to have with him and sustain with him. Just I just imagine him having that with other people. He was very, very focused on youth and desired women who were, significantly younger. And I was actually older than him, and that was always kind of an insecurity in our relationship. And that's nothing I could have ever changed, obviously. I always felt very inadequate just from that alone, let alone anything on top of that. So it's like just hating my and I mean, it sounds terrible, but just hating myself, being who I am, and not being able to sustain his desire, or being the object of his desire. And I about all the ways I wish I could be that person, and in the ways that I wasn't.
Mm. It's a good thing to notice. Like, I need to be the object of that person's desire, or that I need to be the object. I mean, no, that's just very, need to be the object of the universe's desire, Need to
Mhm.
be, I need to be favored. I need to be seen or looked at,
Yeah,
wanted. And I'm imagining I'm not wanted.
yeah, wanting to be special, and then I get confused because it's like that's your ego and blah blah blah, blah, and I just
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. And that's all right to be just seeing, that more thought comes in about having the thoughts. Oh, I shouldn't be having these thoughts because it's ego, and gosh, I know it doesn't really matter. And I find it's like, how do I react when I believe that thought? Wow, I shouldn't even be having a thought in the first place.
yeah,
Yeah. So just seeing, noticing. Is it the age? Is it this? Is it skip around? Is it moving to that? Pictures of you being left out, and whatever you want happening over there, not here. That passion. Okay. So noticing that feeling that you said, you feel sad, how you treat yourself, how you are with you. Here you are with you. See where you feel that in your body. I'm not good enough.
it's just a really really tight constriction in my chest and my throat,
Hmm.
shoulders tense, and yeah, just really tight, and kind of my core.
Yeah. Okay. Anything more with how it feels and how you treat yourself?
Yeah, like I said, it leads into neurotic thinking about all physical, perceived physical flaws, and like if I were better, I could have. And again, logically, I know that's not right, but it just doesn't interrupt the pattern, it just keeps going.
Yeah.
And then probably what's even worse than that is how I compare myself to other women constantly, and with or without them. It's like I can't even, the jealousy and pain that, like, especially with younger women, it's just I see everyone through the lens that I imagine him seeing them through. And I mean, he admitted he was, had a sex addiction. So
Mm-hmm.
it, I get so angry with myself because I feel like there's this disconnection between me and, and and other people, other women that are, I would consider physically attractive, I get angry because I can't even connect with people because I have this filter of hate.
Yeah. So I love you. Let let it be there instead of that one voice that comes in and says, oh, this isn't even true. This is just my ego. And just feeling it all, like something very, that precious one that's just seeing it so dear and innocent in a way, and also so hurting. They've got something. They've got something. I'm not enough. They've got it over there better than me. I don't have enough here. The sadness or the fear, just watching the images. What's the worst that could happen? Like if this never changes and just continues to get this not enoughness, or the actual condition, like aging, which it seems like is going to be underway.
Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen? What's the greatest danger right in the middle of this situation?
That I will cut myself off from, you know, the joy and love relationships, you know, with other people in the world. It's I I can't. It's like I'm so consumed with this comparison that I'm missing the joy of the moment, and it makes me so sad, especially when I'm with the people I love, and I just can't stop thinking about either everything that's wrong with me or the flaws I see in them, or how much I envy those who don't seem to, you know, have to. It seems so superficial, but how much my focus is on physical beauty in it.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm robbing myself of the moment and the joy of being present, and then it's like I feel like I've missed so much of my life from suffering, and it makes me really sad.
Yeah.
I could be lying in bed with my children at night and still thinking about with these neurotic this obsession, and it's like I'm here with the most precious, you know, souls of my life, and I can't even enjoy it because I can't turn my mind off.
Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. I'm just seeing the heartbreak, feeling the heartbreak. And mind doing that, it's repetitive thinking and doing, and I got to get this right. Obsessive thinking. Okay, it's okay. And seeing the future, those images of never being connected, just missing connection and love.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm just so tired. I mean, I feel like there's this. I can't. It's like this relentless. I want so much to have relief and to be able to be in that place of joy in my life with the people that mean everything to me. And I know I spend every waking moment like trying to find the answer. And I mean, from all kinds of spiritual work to therapy to, I mean, it just goes on and on for the past at least 12 years. And, you know, now I just came across the work of, you know, Katie Byron a few months ago, and I've just been obsessed. I listen to everything I can. I write worksheets every day. And I do think
Yeah.
that this incident has been really hard for me.
Yeah. I love that you're just letting it be, letting yourself be in the hardness of it. Like, you know, that rush to get away from it. No more suffering, quick rush. I'm going to do therapy. I'm going to do the work. I'm going to do this spiritual. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to consume this. I'm going to get this right. I think you're speaking to something I certainly have noticed is in the mind. The speed of the mind is amazing about rushing to find an answer. Where's the relief? Let me just get this. Let me just get this.
Yeah.
This love, this connection.
I'm afraid I'm gonna not get it before it's over,
Yeah.
And and maybe that's another belief that deserves a worksheet, but that, and why we're here is to, the self-realization, but I can't figure it out.
I can't figure it out. Yeah. Well, I love that wisdom that popped in and said, maybe another worksheet, but instead of like lots of work, just noticing it's a thought. This is going to last forever. I haven't gotten there yet. This isn't it. And I just sometimes think the mind loves this isn't it. I mean, it's because it isn't it. It thinks. But just notice the mind, coming up with ideas, rushing to help. Just lots of different, let's go here, let's go there, let's run here, let's run there. I'm not good enough. Shouldn't even have this thought in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So just for right now, doesn't have to be ongoing, no expectations, just right now in this moment. If you couldn't have the thought, there's something wrong with me, I'm not good enough, there's something missing. If you just didn't believe, it's okay to even have the thoughts. If you didn't believe that it was true, something's not quite right, something isn't good enough here, something in me isn't good enough. Just any of that, as you hear it chattering like a rushing river. Who are you? Yeah, without the story. You couldn't believe it.
Well, I'd stop trying so hard. I think I would kind of be more willing to surrender. And again, another worksheet, because then that just makes me angry.
What'd you just see right there? Like something about surrender feels, no, I don't like it. So another stressful thought came in. What was it? What does surrender mean?
Accepting what is.
Okay. And something wasn't quite loving it.
No, I hate it. I hate it. It's God. It makes me hate the notion of all of this. Like, yeah, it always brings me back to this fundamental question of, we're supposed to trust this reality, this God, but yet, and that's all loving, but to me seems sadistic so much of the time. Like there has, again, maybe I just don't understand I don't understand any of it, and I try.
It's okay. I mean, so okay. Like, I just love that you saw that. Like some other idea came in, like, wow, if I give up this whole not good enough story, then I'm have to surrender, but I'm angry about the surrender. So the way I'm seeing surrender, or the way the mind is thinking of it, is it's like hating what is and just resignation, perhaps hopelessness.
Yes, hopelessness,
Yeah.
up on giving up on the search to end my suffering.
Yeah. So staying right there. If I give up on the search to end suffering, It'll be awful. I feel angry about that. Can you know that that's true? I'll just be endlessly suffering if I give up on the search to end suffering. I will not stop suffering. Is that true?
I guess no, I don't know, so no.
Oh, I love the I don't know.
Hmm.
Might say, might be very convinced that, well, I'm not so sure about this if you give up.
Yeah, okay, to be honest, yes. I mean, I know I don't have any proof, but yes, I feel like I will still suffer if I quit trying to suffer. I mean, quit trying to not suffer.
Yeah. I have to try to not suffer to get to not suffer. Can't know that's absolutely true. It seems like it.
Yeah.
You notice what happens when you see it that way? You have to at least try to not suffer.
Yeah.
It's like the choices are trying not to suffer or just
Suffer.
giving up. But what if I just didn't even know that?
I guess it's because I have tried to just stop trying. I have stopped trying and then get depressed.
Yeah, yeah.
Sadness of this is the way it is. And
Yeah. All right, so let's just look at that a minute. So, okay, I'm going to stop trying to suffer. And so I'm just sad and hopeless,
yeah,
and change is still not happening. What happens when you see it that way? Change just doesn't have, I'm giving up trying. Don't have it in me anymore. What happens when you believe that thought?
I
I give
don't
up.
want I don't want to live.
Ah, don't even want to live. Yeah.
Mhm.
In a way, you can see like why there's so much trying to search for the end of suffering, like because this is behind it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Why am I even here? I don't even want to live.
yeah. I have to be here for my kids, but no, I don't know how else to do it.
Yeah. So just what if? We're only asking what if. We don't even know. I don't know if it's true or not. Just seems like it. What if you notice it's a very painful thought? Hopeless. So what if it wasn't true? That if I quit searching how to quit suffering, I'll just be resigned to suffering forever. I'll just have to live and endure suffering forever. What if that wasn't true?
I'd be happy. I mean, I'd be relieved. I'd be relaxed. I'd trust.
That's, I mean, pretty amazing. Be relieved. Yeah. You know, just be a little bit, what if? What if I didn't have to depend on my thinking or listen or believe my thinking about life and suffering? I'd be relieved. I'd have some trust. And just see if you can feel something. Well, maybe you are, but right now in the moment. So we're not waiting for something better, you know, tomorrow. When it's revealed that you don't have to suffer as much. But just what if right now you could find a sense of something that doesn't suffer?
I don't know. I mean, I could suffer when I'm just, vices, things of that nature, but hobbies, but
See how um, see how your hands are looking at the situation right now, just life in this moment. What do your hands think about it?
they're not thinking about it. They're warm and they're in my sweatshirt.
They're just there. You have a sweatshirt, so there's a sweatshirt here, not suffering.
Yeah.
A chair that you're sitting on, or a couch, or a bed, or, something's just sitting. And sometimes so simple, it seems so simple, kind of can be ridiculously simple, like, but just what, is there anything that is not suffering right now in this moment?
Yeah. 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 My breathing.
My breathing, yeah. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about if I can breathe or not. I was just doing it.
Yeah.
I like things like, I mean, it works for me, like the carpet. The carpet's just laying here and it's really pretty. And it's all clean. Somebody shook it out. It's just have a carpet on the floor. Just the environment.
So it's hard to be in this space. I just want so much to pull me back into that habit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're following it right now.
Yeah.
And this, I mean, you notice, just like all of our minds would do, it comes in and goes, but what about when I get out of this space? It's really hard to get in it. A thought, it's another thought. And it doesn't mean it hasn't been so. But like, what if anything that I'm thinking that's stressful is not actually true for me? That's why it's stressful.
Well, something interesting is I feel very discontent in this space. Like it feels like it's not enough to keep my attention, not enough to be desired. like it feels very painful,
Yeah. Don't you
very,
love
very
Yeah.
kind
Should I be searching for something or like running around or doing something? I mean, this can't be it. It's not enough.
no, not enough. It's boring. It's monotonous. It's what is. It's just there's nothing. Just being.
Yeah. Which I love it because you're finding the turnaround. You're just dropping right into the turnaround. I'm not good enough. This isn't good enough for the
Yeah.
mind, for the mind.
Yeah.
It's good enough for your hands.
Yeah. It's like my mind needs more and more. And I mean, I meditate every day in stillness and sitting, but just noticing it uneventful.
Yeah. Very speedy.
Mhm.
And I just noticed that too, the power of thought, feels very strong and quick. And it's like, wait a minute, if I'm looking at I'm not good enough, I have to seek the end of suffering. I have to be resigned to forever suffering. Oh, if I'm actually not suffering, it's boring. It's got something to say. It's always got something to say.
The reality.
Right?
No, it's not healthy, but it's entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah. And so just feeling, just noticing it's trying to do its best. It's just working so hard. It's like coming up with, it's got something to say about every situation it thinks might help. And what if I didn't believe it? What it was saying, the contents. What if I just didn't know? What if it was safe to not know?
Mm. If it were, oh gosh, if it were safe to not know, that would mean I would trust the unknown. And if I were trusting, I would feel safe to not know. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
eating its tail.
I mean, it is weird to not know for the mind. I can still find it. It's like, can I know? Come on. But if I really don't know and it's okay, I've never known for sure the absolute truth about the meaning of life up until this point. I've never known that. And something is still persisting and here and present and supporting me in life. Just life is happening. Maybe it's more okay to not know than I thought.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know.
Just seeing that's, difficult situations like the one you described kind of came in with something happens. Ow,
Yeah.
painful. Thinking, I don't ever want that to happen again. I need to figure this out. I need to know why it happened. Oh my gosh, it means something about me. And if I just don't, all of it is thought. If I just don't know any of it, that's why it's chattering away. repeating itself because it's just trying to come up with things to explain. It's okay that it's doing that. Nothing wrong with that, with it doing that. It's kind of what thinking does. But if I didn't have to have my thought figure life out, figure this problem out, because it doesn't seem to be able to.
Yeah, it's small.
Yeah. And what if that's okay? You know, what if I am good enough? Even if my mind has been very, very busy, it's okay. What if it's just been trying so hard, and it's okay that it's doing that? What if there's something here? The mind is good enough. My thinking is doing what it does. Maybe my thinking isn't good enough for the questions that I'm pondering. What if I am good enough just being here?
Oh, if I'm, again, I don't know if this, my mind racing again, feels like if I am good enough, where I am, who I am, how I am, moment, moving forward, I'll be alone.
I love
guess
that I love that it loves to go into the future about what's going to happen moving forward, which is, it always does that. You know, it's like, oh yeah, thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing. And we're just seeing, you know, with like if the committee's in there talking, even if it's got a lot to say, you imagine a committee in a room talking about, you know, having to searching for the end of suffering, but then also seeing if you're just resigned, and every voice that's in there, and they're all in this huge room and they're making so much noise, and you've just got a soundproof door and you shut the door and it's very quiet. And it's, if there just is no future right now in this moment that I even need to think about or worry about, because I can't know for sure that the future is going to be lonely. Like, who would I be without that? Who would I be without that?
empty. I don't know if that's, I feel blank, void,
Mm.
nothing to look forward to, nothing to dwell on, nothing to bring me up or down, bored.
So I love it again, you know, seeing it's blank, it's void, it's empty. Not enoughness is here, not enough. Oh, I don't
Yeah.
like it. It's, I mean, it's so fast to go to like, and that's terrible. It'll, you know, just the mind judging it as dangerous in some way or threatening or uncomfortable. And we're just wondering, it's just being willing to crack into that. If I didn't believe my thoughts, and they don't have to be silenced, because I mean, that's, they're going to make noise, they're going to keep making noise. But just to see how beautiful it is in a way, Vanessa, like that it, you go like, oh, you land there and look and see, and then go, oh, well, wait a minute, it's boring, you know, or, oh, there's a void, but that's too, I don't get it, you know, or just whatever it has to say about it. It's just almost instant. The feeling about what it sees is stressful, put it that way. Like, so And then the believing of that, like just what's the difference between having a thought and believing it?
Mm.
I just get nervous that it's the truth, or believing it's true for a second, or that could be true, or whatever. Just the body is kind of responding and right there. So I love asking how do my hands feel about that new thought that comes in so fast. How do my hands feel about that one, about the void?
Mm.
Are they worried about the void?
No, they like it.
I don't even like it. Oh,
They feel safe in the void.
ah, they might be onto something. I think you just touched it.
Mm.
Yeah. Who I am without the thought. Who am I without the thought? What's here without believing my thoughts about it? What's here? And it's okay that I've had lots of thinking about whatever's here, because that's what we do in life, it seems. Just seeing that quietness, the space, and just wondering. I love how, just going a little slower with it. If something feels panicky about the I'm not good enough thought, just a little slowed down to see, what if I am good enough? What if I am? And what if it's not even about whether there's a good or bad or anything, just no thought? And just let it percolate, like just kind of be in here, running, without all those images about the future and where it's going, even a few hours from now, or what happened before. So I love that you brought this, Vanessa. It was very, I feel like it just kind of widened to a great grand question about life itself, which maybe any stressful thought actually does that, but really beautiful. Yeah, so thank you. Thank you for opening that up.
Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I feel like this is a whole new space to, just, I don't want to say anything that might sound like the mind is trying to interpret it.
It's okay.
I'll let my hand.
Yeah. Very sweet. Yeah, thank you. So, thoughts from others, any takeaways? Did you follow, and would you like to say anything just about what you heard? Or say anything?
It was really beautiful to be in this space with you, Vanessa. Really grateful for your vulnerability.
Yeah. Such a great.
And I can find all the same thoughts and feelings.
Yeah. Yeah, Sarah.
Oh, thank you, Vanessa. I really appreciated your willingness to keep going deeper and deeper, and with the suffering and the feelings of what would happen without the suffering, because I can really relate to that, and how the whole thing about the conference table, just rather than you know, I usually think of, oh, if I have those thoughts, I have to push them away, or I just don't want to listen to them, you know. But the idea of the conference table and just knowing they're all there, doing their jabber, and that I can actually close the door for a while, knowing they're still there. That was very helpful. That was very helpful for me, because I don't think I want to get rid of anything at this point in my life, where I'm seeing, no, this stuff is not going to go away, but it is, I do have other ways to look at it. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
So I really appreciate that whole package, the way that came around. Yeah.
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 Awesome. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I find sometimes that we've all had that experience. You're trying to get rid of
Mhm.
the thoughts, those repetitive things, the ones we're calling obsessive. Boy, it just almost gives them more energy. Like, don't think about it, you know, or get it. The fighting feeling of it is just so hard. Yeah, Mary.
So yeah, thank you for this work, Vanessa. I really related at some point to the trying so hard part. And in the moment, I literally was like, yeah, why am I so intense about everything all the time? Like my whole life, like everything is intense, and it's kind of this life and death matter. And, you know, whether it's like the search for enlightenment or peace or happiness, or just like being in a meeting. And I noticed, like here in this meeting, I was like, you know, glued to the screen. I was just like, you know, I'm a good student. I like listen to every single word that's said, and I have to try, you know. And suddenly I'm like, why don't you just like make the bed and listen and like walk away? And I just relaxed. I let it go. I don't know, something shifted in me because of your work. And it was like, I can listen and be here without so much intensity. And I think that might relate a little bit to the boredom issue, that with the intensity, that without intensity is life boring, or, you know, so it just brought up a lot of good stuff, and self-awareness for me, and it was helpful. And once I just was like listening and making the bed and not trying to like nail something down, I enjoyed it a whole lot more.
Yeah, like I gotta get some in here. Oh, I gotta do this work. Right.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
I think I would say, maybe I was like, wow, that's a weird question. What are your hands doing? But then I thought, well, yeah, I kind of, my hands then got involved in making the bed, and my head was less involved.
Yeah.
It was more balanced. So yeah, it was really interesting.
Yeah. It's been amazing how the mind is so powerful and so like sort of hypnotic in a way, you know, it just, we're not even aware of anything that isn't suffering in our environment. It's all
There
suffering.
isn't thought, just thought. Oh
Yes.
my God.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't it fun though to see, as soon as I just turn my attention just a little bit in a different direction, like what's here that isn't thought? Oh. And it just, you know, person gets up and makes a bed and relaxes. Yeah. Yeah. Love that. Thank you. Anyone else want to share? Absolutely perfect. Yeah.
Actually, I have a thing also. I'm in Sweden, so we are getting towards the night now, evening.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I have a thought, not that it matters, but since it's going on in my mind, I might as well share it. It seems to me that in this work, quite a lot of it was was not about the original situation. Some of it was, definitely.
Yeah.
And also I agree with someone who probably already said that it's, it's quite courageous to just sharing like that. I don't think I would be able to in that subject actually. But anyway, my comment was that the other part, it seems to me then maybe it's my assessment is not balanced, but it seems to me that quite a lot of it was very, very general in this this time.
Yes.
And I'm not going anywhere with this. I'm just saying. And maybe one thing I see if you agree, and if you have some comment about it also.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that observation. Yeah, it just seems so. It absolutely seemed to have gone that way, kind of like about this whole perspective of life, like sort of an underlying belief about life. And I don't know if it was because Vanessa said she's done the work on this, the specific situation a whole bunch of times and isn't cracking anything, isn't getting somewhere with it. I'm not sure. Yeah, but it just sort of kind of moved into, staying and seeing. Sometimes I've just noticed in myself repetitive worksheets or looking at situations that seem to repeat. God, I'm still bothered by this. Some assistance with looking at question 4. I might be really exploring in depth question 3. This is what it all looks like when I'm believing, and the fear and agony around it. And kind of this whole putting the meaning, like looking at the meaning that I'm putting on it, because something about that isn't quite, I have to pick it up a little bit at a time, a little piece at a time along the way. And so I don't know, it just wound up moving in that direction. Yeah. So I love that though, like if there is a situation and I haven't done the work on it at all, it's like, I know where to start with that. Look at the situation, hold that in my mind, write down the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet,
Yeah, so you do really get into the nitty gritty of it also.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that observation and your question. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you, all of you.
You're welcome. I sometimes have found too that as the work, same types of situations, like, a new situation comes up, same exact thoughts on it, then it begins to could drop, what is it when that thought appears? There really aren't that many. It seems like there's so many situations, there's so much, says the mind, but really there's kind of boils down to far less. So thank you all. Maybe we'll close with the opening quote. I don't know, it just seems to fit. This is from Loving What Is. Katie. Beginners sometimes ask me what will happen if they do the work on a regular basis. They're afraid that without a story, they won't be motivated to act and they won't know what to do. The experience of those who do the work is that the opposite is true. Inquiry naturally gives rise to action that is clear, kind, and fearless. When you begin to meet your thinking with understanding, your body follows. It begins to move by itself. So you don't have to do anything. The work is about noticing our thoughts, not about changing them. All right. Thank you all. Fantastic to see you all. Thank you. Lots of love. See you next time.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.